So this lower bed here, that's the one that Bob took all of the straw out of the potato bin right there, and he put it down here on that bed. And we are going to be turning that into where we plant our grapes. I'm not going to call it a grape arbor because I don't think it is, but that's where we're going to plant grapes. And then somewhere down in here, I am going to plant my lilac trees. And then we're going to keep the cucumbers and the squash outside here. And then that pool, I want to move my Jerusalem artichokes from the pot that they're in, if they survived, and put them in that pool. And then we can plant other stuff up here, like in that metal bed right there, possibly like my Egyptian walking onions. I'm going to start more asparagus and possibly another artichoke plant and put them up here. Bob's taking that dirt and going around that way with it. The tomatoes, they are a mess, but we're trying to extend the growing season. We're supposed to get that atmospheric river and it will split these, and I've got so many green ones and I want them to grow. These greenhouses, they were a couple $100 a piece, and we're pretty disappointed in the quality of them. The green plastic on them has already worn through, and so that's all going to be replaced. So we're going to have to buy some thick milled clear plastic, and we're going to actually turn that into a grow tunnel, and we're going to connect them. It's going to be one long one instead of two shorter ones. And then all of that stuff that's up there on the deck, all those plants, I want to grow those in the grow tunnel next year. And when we do that, I want to make it to where we can roll up the sides so that it can cool down and everything in there. And hopefully Bob, he's like MacGyver, he can figure it out on how that we can keep the cover on it year round. I would like to be able to do that. And then that way, that would really extend our growing period. We'd be able to grow year round. And need to get some of these blackberries and stuff cleared out of here, especially like over there. And what do we got here? Let me see. Those look like stripes of yore. Those are pretty. That's what those look like. I need to get a butter apple. I think we have a chicken laying an egg. But anyways, yeah, this all, with me getting sick and going on oxygen, and Bob having to take care of me and everything, and going to the hospital all those times in June, this all kind of just got away from him. He did his best. But it's a new year next year. I'll probably still be on oxygen, but we're going to be moving the garden up here. And if I can get it all in that grow tunnel, and then the tomato garden over here and the squash down here, I think Bob will be happy with that, because then it's not running all over the place. We'll still grow potatoes in there. And then the other thing is the soil. This soil. We hauled in 6 yards of soil between last year and this year. And that company here, they shysted us. That stuff was like $40 a yard, almost. And it is just crap soil. And I'm not even really holding out hopes of amending it. We're just going to use it as fill dirt. And the only reason why those tomatoes are like they are is because of the nutrients he was giving them. So we are going to be using soil that's recycled out of a cannabis grow. They grow their plants in the soil one time and then they dump it out back. We're going to go down there, load it up, bring it up here. It's full of the good stuff. Our plants will love it. And that's what we're going to be using next year. I am not even messing around with this local. They're not even local anymore. They used to have really good soil and they sold out back east or something like that, and now it's just crap. And I tried 2 different types, and I'm over it, and they're not going to get another penny from me. But anyway, yeah, so that is what's going on. Our plans for the yard next year. We got to get all these weeds down. He's got some organic weed killer, so when everything's done, said and done, in the spring, on a nice day, he'll go out and he'll hit around the greenhouses and up here in the driveway part, the gravel part, with that organic weed killer. And then I don't know what he's going to do down this way, but I've got oregano and stuff like that that was growing here when we moved up here. And it's like, that is a lot of oregano. And then we got birds, and it's like, hey, you know what? That's beneficial for birds. So that's what we've been doing with it. And I'm going to actually put more oregano in this area. We're going to grow a whole lot more. And the great thing about oregano is it will grow year round up here. And I also need to get my rosemary and my lavender out of the pot. I need to get a lot of things out of the pot. Like in that pool, I want to put Jerusalem artichokes. I've had them growing in a pot now for like 3 or 4 years. They need to get out of there, so that's what I'm hoping to do in that pool. And then there's a metal, like a square metal bed after that where the squash are, right there. And I think I want to put, I'm thinking about putting, now maybe I don't want to do that. I was thinking about Egyptian walking onions, but I don't walk down there to get anything because there's snakes in there. And if there's snakes in there, I'm not in there. Bob will have to go get them. So I'd rather put a nice sized pot of those up here closer to the door. So I've got big pots up here, and I'm going to probably put them in one of those instead. And then they can spread around and do whatever they want. I might... I'll use that probably for cucumbers. The birds just love the cucumbers. I like to eat them. I'll cut a couple up on my salad every day. So I've got several different kinds of cucumbers, so no telling what I'll start. We'll get it figured out. But that will be for squash and cucumbers. There is a long raised bed in there made out of cinder blocks that we're growing squash in. And what do you got in your hand there, Bob? Not gonna say. Anyway, there's Jerry. There's Tom. There's these mouthy guineas. Goldie. Where is she? Right there. That's Goldie. That's all of the other reindeer. There's... can't see in here now. It's so dark. And that is not windproof, but it is like it's a privacy screen, so it blocks like 90% of your view. So it does knock down a lot of the wind. Not going to say it doesn't. But what we're going to do, is when it gets cold, we've just decided, because we're trying to figure out what to build the turkeys in here.
Wind out there, not in here.
Oh, okay. But we're trying to figure out what to do with the turkeys when it gets cold. And the guineas could fit through the little door in the coop.
Oh, turkeys can fit through them too.
The turkey, he can't.
Well, he can.
He's too big.
The one that went in there.
Well, anyway, we're just gonna put them in the coop and shut them in there, and then we'll let them out in the morning. And everybody's just gonna have to learn to get along.
Yep.
And also, when Bob gets that greenhouse done, I want him to figure out some kind of system to where I can take these strawberry plants and grow them up tall. I've also got seeds from Nicotovka, which I did in my seed haul video, that are alpine. So I've got yellow ones and I've got red ones. And then these are ones that our old neighbor gave us. And it threw off a bunch of babies and stuff. And I want to grow those, but I want those to be up in the air so that you're not bending down to pick them. That you can just walk through and pick them and make life so much easier. And there's a midnight Roma and a Polish night tomato.